Hey guys, what's going on? So in this video, I'm gonna go over one of my most favorite guns, the Beretta 92 series. So real quick before we get started, clear and clear. So basically, I have a strong place in my heart for the Beretta 92. It's what the pistol I learned how to shoot on basically. Back in the 90s, my dad bought one, and when I would come to visit him, we'd go to the gun range and shoot. Of course, back then, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, take your pick at the action movie. Everybody had a Beretta 92. So as a kid, that was a cool gun to me. I'll go over the rig tack first. So I've had multiple 92s over the years, 92 FSs, 96, horrible. Anything to 40 is horrible. But had to give you some backstory. Several years ago, I started competing for the Guard, shooting matches. So I bought a 92 FS, or actually it was an M9. Started practicing with it. Actually started enjoying shooting them again for the years in between, early to mid 2000s and whatnot. Hated the 92, even though I learned to shoot with it. But because of the Beretta M9, and the military ones, they were worn out and they shot like crap, for comparatively speaking. But once I started competing with them again, I got used to them again, and I bought an M9 to practice with at home and fell in love with it again, all over again, and just started to shoot them. At the time I was either 1911 or on the Glock or Sig Sauce, and anyway, fell in love with the Beretta again. There's so many things about them that just to love. Then the Wilson Combat came out with the Brigadier Tactical, and I just had to have one. Finally found one at a decent price, and as you can see, this one doesn't have the stock grips. I've got some Langdon Tactical grips on it that are a little bit thinner. This is the one gun that I've actually enjoyed thinner grips on. Usually I like full-size grips, but yeah, I mean, this was my everyday carry gun for a number of years, until the Langdon came out. But really, I polished up the trigger on it, changed the recoil spring out to a 13-pound polished spring, and I think that's pretty much all I've done to this gun other than shoot it. And this thing, it's been a workhorse for me. I carry this one, I carry Appendix pretty much exclusively for the last close to coming up on 13, 14 years. And people always, said you can't carry a full-size gun there, but yes, you can. This is one of the biggest guns people can think of, and I carry government model 1911s that way too. It's all about the holster and the belt. Speaking of, I really probably should cover my holsters, but to give you an idea, this gun I carried and shot for, let's see, I got it in like 2013. That was my primary carry gun until late 2018 when the LTT, when I finally got one of those. And it doesn't even hardly show it. I mean, it's got a little bit of wear on the scallops on the slide and some on the mag wall for me reloading. But this thing has just been a freaking tank. Yeah. Like I couldn't have ever asked anything else of this gun. It always hit where I was aiming, and it was what it was. But the LTT came out, Um, and I finally got one. This is, it took me a while to find one so I could get my hands on it, because I wanted to, I don't want to just buy a gun online, And this one has been my carry gun ever since, probably about 2018. And I gotta say, Beretta's really stepped up their game. The exterior finish isn't great, isn't as good as they used to be on them, but their lockup has just gotten so good. And so this one, I've actually put the Langdon trigger job in a bag with their ultimate trigger bar and the Wilson Combat Hammer on it. And I mean, this thing is just smooth as glass. And the reset on this thing, I didn't even do that right. Hang on. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't really believe in ride and reset, but it's nice to know that you're not going to short stroke. Comparatively speaking, if I take this one, and it's a noticeable difference. It was a trigger functional on the Wilson or this one out of the box from the factory? Absolutely. The 13-pound hammer springs really do make a difference. Trigger job in a bag on this one, it made it just feel so much smoother. And I wanted to compare these two real quick because, I debated this for a long time. I loved the Brigadier slide. I always felt it made it feel like it shot softer. Like 92s are one of the softest shooting 9mm there are, but this one it felt super soft. And then, but listening to what people were saying about them, how they tracked faster and came back on target faster, I wanted to try it out. And also some of the things that I did to the frame, I wanted to try it out. And pretty much any video out there talking about it, it's not wrong. I do enjoy the sights. This square notch on this fiber optic. I'm not a fan of fiber optics normally, but this it just helps. It just tracks so fast. This one's got the Wilson Combat U-notch. Let's see if you're gonna get that, and with a tritium sight, but side by side, they're both great guns. One of the things that I do like about the LTT that I've noticed, because when I draw, I use on just about any gun, I use a claw grip. And one of the things I've trained myself to do was sweep down like this. The reason I do that is because with 1911s, if you do that, you put your thumb basically on the. Can't do it with my wrist twisted, but it puts your thumb basically right there on the thumb safety to disengage it. On a Beretta, like an M9 that I'm have to carry until we got the M7. Sorry, wife needed something. But the whole point of that is, so with this one, M9 or the Wilson, this corner right here on the back of the beaver tail would eventually rub my thumb raw if I was shooting a lot. To compare, I don't know, let me see if I can get this to where you guys can see. It doesn't, maybe even to the naked eye, it's not as noticeable, but the beaver tail on the Langdons are smoother, so it doesn't wear on your thumb as much. I do think that the Brigadier slide recoils softer. However, it is slower. And I mean, when I say that, I mean, it's still 92, it's still 9mm, it still recoils very small. But so, this gun has been my primary carry gun for the last, well, since, late 2018 when I got it. Berettas are notoriously reliable. I've never had a malfunction out of one of my Berettas. Government ones, yes, of course. They had recoil springs in them that were freaking had a curve like this in them. You couldn't roll them across the table because they were so jacked up, and the guns were just abused. Anyway, this is usually my primary carry gun. This has become my nightstand gun with the nice Beretta Stendo mag, because reloading is stupid. Talking about reloading, yes, I know this is a loaded mag, but actually I can please that. So these Metcar mags, speaking of that, there is if you take let's say a standard GI mag for Beretta. It's kind of hard to show, but right here on the front, you see them, and this is the way these GI mags being Parkerized and all that, they suck. But the Beretta mags are kind of this way too, is that they have this extra thickness up here by where the feed ramp would be. And these Metcar 18 round mags do not. They're a little bit thinner, and they're actually, just a little bit different ramp on the back as well. And that little bit of difference, I mean, it just falls right in the magazine. I mean, it's super smooth, whereas it's not hard to reload with a GI mag even, but these it's almost like they're got a magnet on them and they want to go in. Yeah, they're pretty awesome. That's pretty much all I carry is the 18 rounders, and I'll use the 20 rounder Metcar mags as well as like my reload. So I mean, with this gun or my Brig Tac, 19 in the gun plus a 20 round reload. If you need that much, you're in trouble. But it's nice to know you got it, I guess. But anyway, this gun, yeah. One day I would like to get possibly a Centurion, which is the shorter sliding barrel version, and with the red dot cut. Or maybe just get a red dot slide for this one, just to try it out. I have had one red dot gun before, and I didn't do as well with it as I should have, but I also didn't want to put that much time into it because it was a Glock. Not really, nothing against Glock. I'm just not a big fan of them. So anyway, that's my take on the Berettas. If you were going to pick one, which one would you pick? Really can't go wrong with either one. That being said, I would go with the Langdon just because of the nice little touches. It has a nice Resident Evil vibe to it. But also, I mean, just what it comes with from the factory, the little touches that most people wouldn't even notice initially. Definitely the trigger job helps. This gun is probably one of my favorite guns I've ever owned as far as handguns go. Not to say anything against the Wilson, it's just when I can do much more with the Langdon as far as performance wise versus the Wilson. But yeah, anyway, I guess I could show y'all my holster. This is actually for the the Brigadier, and I have the light on it, so I can't really use it. But pretty much all my holsters I've used now in the past 7 years or so have become these JM custom holsters. JM custom Kydex. Tony there, he's an avid shooter. He likes a lot of different guns, but he's a very avid on appendix as well. And he, next to probably Spencer Keepers and Keepers Concealment, I would say these are probably some of the best appendix holsters there are. I don't use sidecar style holsters at all. I've tried them before and they just do not work for me. They don't conceal well for me, and they're not in the right placement. When I carry, I'm more of a true appendix off to the side as opposed to an abdomen carry, and it's how I found that I can carry a full-size gun like this, and it conceals well and it's comfortable. And yeah, I usually carry my reload a little bit off to the 11 o'clock side in one of JM Custom's mag pouches. This is a beat up one that I've had. I think I actually usually use the clip for the mag holster. I'm a fan of pull dot loops for the holster itself, but for the mag carrier, I prefer the clip that they have. And anyway, as you can see, it's kind of off at a cant, and so it just makes it that much easier. You can still access it with if you had to do one-handed stuff, you can still access it with your strong hand. But you can see this one's actually missing the tension screw, so the mags don't really stay in. That's why it's not being used. But yeah, most of my holsters are those. I have a PX4 over here. It's hot, but another great gun that's highly underrated. This one's just a regular one. I did want to try one of the Langdon PX4 compact carries, but this one's been pretty good for me as it is. So for what I use it for, I generally don't carry smaller guns anymore, but when I do, I have it. And it's the same thing. JM Custom Kydex holster. This one has, instead of a wedge, it has just a little foam pad on it, and works great. I don't have any problems with retention on these. So yeah, those are actually all three of the Berettas I own right now. Hoping to get more in the future. So until next time, I'll probably throw up a SIG video next, because that's one of my next favorite guns. So until next time.